If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin Lohr, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for this Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. We have staff members, many of them joining us remotely today, so please keep your audio on mute until you're ready to speak. And your phone silence. Let me make sure mine is too. I just did it. I'd like to note that the public was given an opportunity to attend today's meeting and to provide comments on the agenda items. I do not believe we have anybody from the public here today, but we did receive one nice complimentary item that's in our packet that we received yesterday. Always nice to get good news. In addition, the public was given an opportunity to comment on all the agenda items by submitting their written comments by noon yesterday. And as I mentioned, we just have the one on item Roman numeral 8A. Of course, the directors all received the written materials in advance of today's meeting, and of course are free to ask questions at any time during the presentations by staff. At this time, I will ask whether any directors have any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda today. Benson?
DFS will abstain from voting at the direction of the project.
Very good, and that'll be item Roman numeral 3A, and we'll repeat that when we get to that item again. Any others? Okay, so all the administrative items that I needed to mention have been taken care of. So before we get to the agenda, let's first go around the table, and first with the board members, so we could ascertain if we have a quorum or not.
Hilda Rosario Escher, Director.
Francine Del Monte, Director.
Benson Martin, Designee, DFS.
Michael Rosen, Director.
John Wong, Director.
Rob Simpson, Director.
All right, so we clearly have a quorum and we're able to conduct business. And now let's go around the horn and have senior staff identify themselves. Kev?
Hey, good morning, Kevin Eunice, COO.
Noah Raymond, Chief of Staff. Jason Clark, New York State Division of Minority and Women Business Development.
Liz Luskin, EVP Small Business and Technology Development.
Simone Bethune, Loans and Grants.
Jennifer Tegan, Managing Director, New York Ventures.
Karen Mehta, Senior Director, New York Ventures.
Earl Thompson, Vice President, Entrepreneur Development.
Tony D'Alessio, Deputy CFO, Controller.
Ray Orlando, Chief Financial Officer.
Joshua Bloodworth, General Counsel.
Arden Sacolo, EVP Real Estate.
Good. And Debbie, who keeps us all in line. Thank you. And Liz and Jen, at the end of the meeting, if I grab you for 2 minutes, I want to share some opportunities for you. Okay, great. Let's go to the first item on the agenda for the corporate actions. We have the approval of the minutes of September 18th, 2025. I will move them. Hilda seconds them. Are there any comments, revisions, or additions? None. I will say, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The minutes are approved. Continuing with the agenda items, Josh Breitbart, our Senior VP from Connect All, he's on the line and he has an item for us to approve. Josh, are you there?
I am. Thank you, Chair, President Knight, members of the board, for the opportunity to bring this to you today. The Connect All office is requesting that the directors authorize an amendment of the Digital Equity Program guidelines to reflect program updates. This program addresses non-infrastructure barriers to internet use across the state, including through grants for digital skills education and access to devices, and to increase awareness of low-cost internet service options. The board approved the original guidelines for this program in September 2023. The guidelines reflected the framework established under the Federal Digital Equity Act, which was part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. In May 2025, the federal administration terminated the Digital Equity Program, the federal digital equity program and canceled the associated federal funding, including approximately $37 million for New York. Thanks to the leadership of the governor and with the support of the state legislature, Connect All is recommitted to advancing the Connect All digital equity program, drawing on state funding already allocated for Connect All. And the amended guidelines reflect that change in funding source. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you, Josh. Does anybody have any questions for Josh? None. We have no comments from the public. So I will move this. Francine will second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Earl Thomason, VP of Entrepreneur Development, has an item for us as well regarding some guidelines. Is Earl with us? Yes, there he is. Hi, Earl.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. Entrepreneur Development is seeking approval to adopt guidelines for the Entrepreneur AI Technical Assistance Program, formerly referred to as the Harmony AI Technical Assistance Program. This $280,000 initiative, which is part of the governor's broader Harmony AI initiative, will expand AI literacy and practical applications for small businesses through the Entrepreneurship Assistance Center Network. A single grant will be issued to one specialist EAC, which will oversee the development of AI curriculum modules to be used by all EACs and provide AI-focused one-on-one technical assistance to entrepreneurs and small businesses across the state. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Earl? There is no comment from the public, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Okay. Hope is traveling today on business, and so we don't have a president's report. And we do have a really interesting presentation in terms of our spotlight presentation today. We have Arden Sokolow. She's our EVP for Real Estate Development and Planning, and she's going to give us an update on all the exciting projects that her and her team are working on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, directors. This is a pleasure to be here to talk about the work. I've had the privilege of leading the real estate team for 3 years now. During that time, both the workload and the staff have grown significantly, and it's incredibly exciting. The portfolio, I've worked a lot of places, and I can tell you that this portfolio and ESD's processes are unique and, quite frankly, amazing. So let's dig in a little. So what do we do here in ESD Real Estate? Our goals of our project is to generate jobs, community amenities, housing and economic opportunities. And we largely do that because the state has a significant number of properties that are underutilized or are located in places that it feels like development is important to do in order to be transformative. So ESD Real Estate transitions the properties from government ownership to one that meets the needs of communities, and that's our primary role. The work is largely governed by the UDC Act, which uses 4 tools to spur development. Quite frankly, I call them my superpowers, our superpowers, because they are amazing. So the first is ESD is empowered to acquire and encumber and dispose of real property, including using eminent domain. We're one of the few agencies that can do this disposition for less than fair market value and not through an auction. And so that ability allows us to do things like increase affordability, increase open space. We can tap the value of these properties to attain other benefits. ESD property is exempt from taxes, and sometimes we use that power to generate pilots for projects as a form of a tax exemption to make projects financially feasible. We can override local zoning. We do that by creating our own design guidelines to govern the project, and we can issue bonds for projects at times. So these are the superpowers. We've been using them to. We're currently working on about 30 active projects. We have and we own about 140 properties. So these are some of the previous ESD projects that you all might be familiar with, and if not, I definitely encourage you to go get familiar with them because they're amazing. Moynihan Station, which was completed on January 1st, 2021, an example of a remarkable public-private partnership that converted a post office into a world-class transportation hub. The Java Center expansion, which expanded the convention center by 2 blocks and increased meeting space, ballrooms, and a whole host of things. And UBS Arena, which became the home of the Islanders and generated thousands of jobs.
Did we just oversee all the development, all those projects, or we don't own those, right?
We do.
We own them as well?
The Moynihan Station is beautiful.
Thank you. We're very proud of it. Okay. Oh, wait, I want to say one thing about this. These are the projects that everybody used to associate with ESD. In fact, I associated with ESD. And when I interviewed for this job with our commissioner, I was concerned that my background in housing development would not align with developing hockey arenas or train halls. But Hope said, no, I promise you, more housing is coming. The focus on housing is going to come, and it's going to come quick. And whoo, boy, was she right, because this is what happened. The governor intensely focused on housing, and for good reason. Over the last 10 years, New York has created 1.2 million jobs, but only 400,000 housing units. And that has translated into things like New York City's lowest vacancy rate in years at 1.4%. Rents in New York City that have increased by 30%, home ownership prices that have increased by 50%, and statewide, those trends, in many places, those trends are aligned with what's happening in New York City. And so the governor has focused on housing intensely in a variety of ways and through a variety of agencies. But there's 2 specific ways that she has used ESD to focus on housing. She has issued Executive Order 30, which instructs all state agencies to review their sites and their inventory and determine what could be used for housing, and then to collaborate on the disposition of those in order to create housing. And the reason that impacts us more so than other agencies is because, as I mentioned, we're one of the few agencies that can then do the disposition. So if OMH or state DOT is looking at a parking lot, usually we have to do the disposition. They aren't going to do the disposition themselves. So the second, but then she also put her money where her mouth is. She created a $500 million fund, recognizing that these state sites have a supermax prison on them, or a crumbling psychiatric center campus on them, and don't have roads and don't have infrastructure. And she created a $500 million fund in last year's budget to address those infrastructure needs and enable those sites to become shovel-ready for housing. So in the last few years, the real estate department became primarily focused on housing.
And how's the Rush program going? Is it, are we getting a lot of interest in it?
Oh, yeah. So it's not a program that's open to the public. It's state agencies come to us. So we have an interagency working group where we review projects, and we now have we have more than $500 million of projects that are in the pipeline.
Wow.
We have about 420 million preliminarily approved, and we have a robust pipeline after that. And the primary users of it are our sites, the MTA sites, and now we're starting to talk with SUNY about their sites as well.
Oh, great.
Okay. So here's just quickly, some examples of some of the housing RFPs that have gone through Bayview, which has come to this board already and was approved. We're now just working with our sister agency, HCR, to move that towards closing. 1024 Fulton, which is a 100% affordable RFP that is in the midst of procurement. Wasaic, which would probably be a mixed income project, is in the middle of procurement, as well as Intrepid, which is a mixed income project on the west side of Manhattan that is mid-procurement. So that hasn't come to this board yet, but hopefully it will.
And where is the Bayview and the Wasaic sites?
Where are they?
Yeah. Is Bayview in Bayview, Queens?
Bayview is in Chelsea.
Chelsea. And then where's Wasaic?
That's a great question. Okay.
In New York City, or is it Lower Hudson Valley?
It's in the Hudson Valley.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So those are some RFPs. In addition to the work like this, we're doing other work to support housing. We've recently approved new development team for the Atlantic Yards project in Brooklyn. We continue to work with the developers surrounding Penn Station that are part of the Penn GPP to develop their sites as housing. So we continue to do other work in addition to these RFPs.
How many housing units within those 4?
That is a great question.
I mean, is it thousands? What are we talking?
Let me get back to you on the
I was
exact
just wondering.
Well, Intrepid's probably, it will likely be over 1,000. Fulton and Bayview are in the 100 plus, low 100, 100 plus. And Wassaic is a big site. We're only really looking at the first phase, but will probably be hundreds of units.
Close to 2,000.
Do you have to work with the city to get permits and all of that? And
We do.
So how long does it take you to get through all of this?
When we do these RFPs, well, generally our development partners do the work with the Department of Buildings. It is not as fast as it should be. We do our best to facilitate that and make it go faster, and we do collaborate with the city. When we work with the City of New York, it's a more predictable timeline. When we work with other localities, sometimes that timeline is a little less predictable as we work with their building departments, et cetera.
So how long would it take for a project to be completed?
To start from when we issue let's say an RFP process takes about a year from when we issue it to designation. And then a GPP, let's call it 2 years. Sometimes and it's 2 years till it can close. So 3 years would be the minimum. On more complex projects, sometimes that it'll, like a project like Site K, which we'll talk about in a minute, is probably 5 years from when we start until they have their permits and can start to put a shovel in the ground.
And some projects, like maybe these, the developer that ESD selects, they have to go get the approvals. And then some projects we take control of and we override local zoning and we issue.
We don't usually issue the permits, right? Even in places like, in Bayview, the developer's going to work with, New York City on pulling those permits. We did override zone there, though.
Got it.
Okay, so let's go into some projects. Javits Site K is a project that was designated, an RFP was issued in 2023, but this was not the first time an RFP had been issued. This site had originally been proposed under the previous governor as a commercial site, but given the increased focus on housing and to the credit of the local community for pushing for housing for this site, we reissued it in the fall of 23. We designated it about a year later. A team of BXP, Boston Properties, BRP, and a minority developer, and Moynihan Group, a developer that's developed on the west side significantly. This site brings improved streetscape that will lead new streets up to the Javits Center. There's a 455 key hotel proposed there, the Climate Science Museum, and as well as 30% of the units as affordable.
And it's still in the pre-development stage. When do we expect construction to begin?
That's the one I was thinking is 5 years from the beginning, so let's say another 3.5, 4 years.
And is it like right in front of the Javits Center?
Mm-hmm. So on 35th and 11th.
And it was, what, a parking lot?
Nope, that's the other one. If you go south of Javits Center, that one's a parking lot. It's...
What was the site, just underutilized, like low-rise industrial or something?
Nope, nothing on it.
Oh, it was...
It has some MTA access points in it.
We owned it?
The CCDC, which is the Convention Center Development Corporation, a subsidiary of ESD, owns it.
Got it.
Brooklyn Development Center. This was part of the 2017 Vital Brooklyn Initiative to address health inequities in Brooklyn. It's a 27-acre site that was state-owned. ESD put out an RFP in partnership with HDR. They're going to create, when it's completed, and it's several phases, they're going to complete about 2,400 units. The first phase is about 560 units, which will be completed in 2027. It's a development team made up of L&M and an Apex Building Group, a minority developer.
And what part of Brooklyn is that?
East New York. And they're also partnering on some of the supportive housing and other components of it with a group called Riseboro Community Partnership and Services for the Underserved. And it will feature a healthcare facility operated by One Brooklyn Health. It's also based on the Blue Zone thing where, it has improved access to healthy foods and other healthy access points. Okay. Creedmoor, which you actually are going to hear about because it's coming to the board today. We're very proud about this, and I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit because it gets to what Kevin asked. Most of our projects we do as an RFP. We get a development partner. They largely shape the plan. We work with them on the plan, and then they take it through development. On these larger sites, what we've learned is that might not be the best way to ensure that you're using these kind of unique and valuable properties to achieve the amenities the community wants. Also, we've learned sort of painfully that sometimes on these big sites, if you hire a master developer, and the master developer, for whatever reason, can't pull it off, you have one developer that you are sort of working it through. If we do the entitlements and the planning and bring it through the GPP process first, then we can break it up into smaller pieces, which will allow us to develop this entire site with different developers and who bring different capacities and different expertise. And so that's why I wanted to bring this to you, because it's just a different model. We're incredibly proud of the process we used. We had extensive community engagement. I mean, incredibly extensive, that I think is a model for how we want to do these large projects moving forward, where hundreds of people came to our virtual and our in-person workshops and helped us create this vision. And this vision is over 2,000 units, 10 acres of open space, community facility, retail uses, 2,400 parking spaces, and potential new school. We're very excited about what's to come here.
And here, ESD is the master developer?
We did the master plan. We intend to put out an RFP in the coming months for the first phase of it.
Right, and we could do an RFP for each phase.
We
could sort of be quarterbacking 5 or 6 different developers throughout the phases here.
Yes.
And is this the first time we were the master planner, master developer for a big site?
First time since I've been here, but that's not that long. I think there probably have been other examples of it, but not recently. More recently, it's been RFP and developer driven.
Right.
I just want to note one last thing before I leave this. 1,000 units of this are going to be homeownership here.
Oh, that's great.
It represents the largest homeownership opportunity in over 70 years in Queens.
In over 70 years, where statewide or
in Queens?
In Queens.
Okay, just because we should talk about something other than housing every now and then, I wanted to note to note this. In 2022, Governor Hochul convened the Prison Redevelopment Commission. ESD facilitated it in conjunction with DOCS and OGS to create a strategy for the disposition of prisons, of which we have many prisons that have been closed due to the good news, the prison population declining. But bad news in that, when these close, there's a tremendous loss of jobs and economic activity for the locality. So the Prison Redevelopment Commission established a process for how we would dispose of this. And sometimes we try to do it ourselves. On some prisons, we'll issue an RFP and do the disposition. But another model that was important and came out of the Prison Redevelopment Commission is a partnership with the locality on these. And so this one, the local IDA, the Livingston County IDA, was very proactive in wanting to create a business park. It's going to be called the Livingston Commerce Center. And they've already started negotiating several leases with businesses to come to this site. So our role here was largely disposition. They're taking the lead, and we're very proud of where they're going with this. It's showing great progress. So, and that's it. That's all I have for you.
That's quite ahead. So sorry, I'm asking so many questions, but I have a couple more. Because
Absolutely.
it's so interesting. First, it's funny, and Hope was so right when she told you that, because when I first got here, I was like, ESD, we don't do housing. And it seems like we're like one of the major entities in the state doing it. I assume we partner with HCR on a lot of things as well?
We do. We, on the affordable projects, on the mixed income ones, that's not usually HCR's focus. So, but on our affordable ones like Bayview, we are partnering with them.
And if we ever override local zoning, do we have to have ownership of the site, or can you override local zoning for a private developer?
That's a good question. We have overridden zoning without ownership. What we can't do is issue real estate pilot if we don't have an ownership piece of it.
And that's funny, because that was my next question. When we do own and we're exempt from taxes, do we often or sometimes enter into pilot agreements to help the local municipality with any impacts the development might have on services there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do. I mean, part of that, Rush is trying to play a part of that, addressing infrastructure needs. But yeah, we try to work with the locality to mitigate impact.
And can ESD approve the pilots, or do we need to go through an IDA?
We can approve the pilots. We usually work in collaboration with the locality.
Got it. And I'm sorry to hog. And bonds, so we could issue bonds for either our own projects.
I'm gonna make Ray answer that question.
And sometimes we could issue bonds for private projects. And does it have to be some significant affordable requirement for us to issue bonds for a private project, or?
We rarely issue bonds for private projects.
Yeah, we can, but we rarely do.
It's not a business line we're in. For the most part, the state appropriations fund large projects. A lot of the rush money that Arden's been talking about is direct state appropriation. The issue is, how do you pay it back, and with what, and on what time frame? And so someone would have to believe that all of your projections were perfect, right, to agree to loan us the money. It's not a typical activity we engage in.
Got it. Yeah. And last question, Art. How big is the team now? The real estate team, approximately?
It's 30. When I got here 3 years ago, it was 12.
Wow. And it's a mix of real estate professionals, attorneys.
That doesn't even include Joshua's team of attorneys. The 30. The team is made up of a few components. We have a design and construction team. We have an environmental review team. We have a community relations team. We have the project management team, and we have the asset management team.
You're like a full-blown real estate development company. No, it's very impressive. Well done. I'm sorry, guys. I hogged most of the questions. Anybody else have any questions? Well, Arden, great job. You and your team, very impressive. Look forward. You doing the Creedmoor presentation later, or something?
Bob from my team will be here.
He'll be here. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Arden. Okay, so now we'll continue with the regular agenda, and we'll go to the regional project section, starting with Western New York. And we have 3 items which require 3 separate votes. And we have Karen Utz, our regional director from Western New York, on the phone.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Law. The directors are requested to approve a grant totaling $881,000 to Lancaster Village Center, LLC, from the Downtown Revitalization Initiative New York Forward Round 1. The total project cost is $6,349,563. The project consisted they were building a 27,100 square foot mixed-use building at 20 West Main in Lancaster's downtown core. The project was completed in May, and we are recommending that the directors approve the release of funds for this project. Happy to answer questions.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Karen? None. We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Karen, continue.
The directors are requested to approve 2 grants totaling $1,050,000 to 401 Central LLC ESD funding consists of $900,000 from Downtown Revitalization Initiative Funds Round 6 and $150,000 from Regional Council Capital Funds Round 13. The total project cost is $1,767,000 and results in the extensive renovation of the former Lakeshore National Bank building into a mixed-use property. It's located at 401 Central Avenue in the heart of the city of Dunkirk. Renovation was completed in August of 2025. With the project now complete, ESD is now recommending that the directors approve release of funds for this project. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Any questions? None. No comments from the public. I will move it. John seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Karen, last item.
The directors are requested to approve a total $12 million in grants to the Buffalo and Erie County Botanical Gardens from the Regional Economic and Community Assistance Program, known as RECAP, the Regional Council Capital Fund, Round 8, and two separate Market New York grants, Rounds 8 and 9. The total project cost is expected to be in excess of $28 million. The Botanical Gardens is a not-for-profit cultural and educational institution located on 12 acres within a Frederick Law Olmsted Design Park in South Buffalo. While the project awards are not tied directly to new job creation, the grantee's proposed expansion will result in the creation of approximately 10 new full-time and 15 new part-time positions to manage and maintain new programs as well as spaces. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sounds exciting. Any questions? None. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Rob seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Let's move over to Central New York. Daniel Kalinsky, our Regional Director for the Central New York region. Daniel, you with us? You're on mute. Going once?
Sorry. No, I'm here, Chairman. Sorry, my mute button didn't work. I had a *6 apparently.
No problem.
Good morning, Chairman and Directors. We are requesting the Directors approve a capital grant of $1 million to 400 West Division Street, LLC from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. Funds will be used for a portion of the cost of construction at 303 West Division Street in Syracuse, located in Onondaga County. This project included the construction of a 41,000 square foot mixed-use building that includes 17,000 square feet of commercial space and 28 market rate residential units. I'm happy to take any questions.
Are they all market rate, Daniel, or any affordables?
They are market rate.
Market rate, got it. All right. Any other questions for Daniel? None. We have no comment from the public. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Dan. Move over to the North Country region. Stephen Hunt, our Regional Director for the North Country region.
Good morning. We're seeking board approval of a $2.5 million Regional Council Capital Fund grant to Microbird USA LLC to assist with the acquisition and equipping of a manufacturing facility to produce small and medium-sized electric and non-electric commercial and transit buses in Plattsburgh. The total project cost is $30,550,000 and includes the creation of 350 jobs. The company has made the investment and created 238 jobs to date. A ribbon cutting was held on September 9th, 2025. We're also supporting this project with a $9,825,000 Excelsior Jobs Program tax credit incentive. The project is consistent with the Regional Council's strategic plan and is in alignment with the North Country Transportation Equipment Cluster, and we're now seeking board authorization for this project.
Very good. Exciting project, Stephen. Does anybody have any questions? No comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Hey, Stephen, do me a favor. Shoot me an email so I have your email. Yesterday, somebody reached out to me with a potentially very big project up in the North Country, and I could introduce them to you, and you could see if, see if it's something that's worthwhile or not, all right?
Okay, fantastic. Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move over to the Southern Tier. Omar Sanders, our Regional Director for the Southern Tier region.
Thank you and good morning. We are asking the directors to approve a $50 million award to Cornell University from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative Round 1. ESD funding was used to support the design and construction of the new experimental hall to house a new magnetic field facility as an expansion of their Cornell High Energy Synchrotronic Source Program, regionally known by the acronym CHESS, which includes the state-of-the-art X-ray tools to characterize the atomic scale structures of materials. The new facility will have a transformative impact on the region, making CHESS the world leader in structural studies of materials and high magnetic fields. As new synchrotronic technologies and processes continue to be invented, they will be transferred to local New York companies who will sell the products and services to global customers. The new experimental hall project anticipates the retention of 200 jobs and the creation of 180 construction jobs. Total project cost from all sources of funding for the project is $63,050,000. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions at the time. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Omar? All right, we don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Omar. Next up, Long Island, Kara Longworth, our VP and Regional Director for ESD's Long Island region.
Good morning, Chairman Law. Good morning, directors. We're asking the directors to approve a Downtown Revitalization Initiative Round 5 capital grant of $277,000 to Losey's Corner to pay for a portion of the renovation of Losey's Corner, which is a historic street corner comprised of 7 storefronts and 1 apartment space, which is in Amityville, Suffolk County. The project is complete, and the total project cost was just over $690,000. The project was chosen as part of Amityville's revitalization because it strengthened the local businesses and it preserved its historic character. The renovations to Losey's Corner included interior and exterior improvements to 3 of Amityville's oldest structures, a main building, a firehouse, and a cottage, and it created 7,500 square foot mixed-use retail and dining complex. Since the project's been completed, it is 80% occupied with a bookstore, ice cream shop, Irish import store, and a bridal boutique. So the project is complete. The company expended the $693,000, and we're asking for the board to approve disbursement of the $277,000 grant.
Kara, you said mixed use. Are there any apartments in this, or is it just mixed use with commercial?
There's 1 apartment.
1 apartment. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Kara? None. We don't have any comments from the public. So I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Kara.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Market, New York. And we have Simone here with us live and in person. So the floor is yours, Simone Bethune, our Senior Project Manager and Coordinator of Projects for Loans and Grants.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to everyone. The directors are requested to approve a $320,000 grant to FLX Grapes, LLC, doing business as Weiss Vineyards, a private Southern Tier-based company. This funding supported a 6,700 square foot expansion of the company's craft beverage tasting room facility completed in June 2025. The new space features tasting bars, a retail area, indoor wine by the glass beverage station, and a handicapped accessible event space, among other new amenities. The project also incorporates a sustainable energy component using geothermal and solar energy. The total project cost was approximately $1.9 million, with Weiss Vineyards investing over $1.1 million of its own equity into the project. For the second item, directors are being asked to authorize a $323,000 grant to Crandall Theater, Inc., a not-for-profit organization in the Capital Region. This funding supports the restoration of the historic Crandall Theater in Chatham, Columbia County, preserving the building's integrity as a designated historic landmark. The project is expected to be complete this month, and renovations include addressing structural issues, improving audio system, and making the theater ADA compliant. Total project costs are $1.63 million, with Crandall expected to contribute a minimum of 80% of the total project cost as a match. That's all I had for Market New York. Should I move on to Restore?
No, but you covered both grantees.
Yes, that was both.
Okay. Now, let's act on that first before you go to Restore. Any questions for Simone? None. There are no comments from the public, so I will move it. John seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Simone, with the Restore New York.
Thank you. For the first item, the directors are requested to authorize a $6 million Round 6 Restore New York award to the Village of Endicott in the Southern Tier region to perform 550,000 square feet of demolition to the former IBM campus located in Endicott's Washington Street corridor. The demolition of these buildings will allow Endicott to address environmental contamination and attract investment in the Southern Tier, resulting in the creation of a 10-acre shovel-ready industrial commercial site. Endicott will oversee an investment of approximately $9.1 million to the project, with an equity contribution of $2.1 million contributed by the building's owners, Phoenix Investors LLC. The project is currently complete. For the second item, we're requesting director's approval for a $2 million Round 7 grant to the City of Rensselaer in the Capital Region. Rensselaer will oversee construction and rehabilitation of a vacant 52,000 square foot building into 45 apartments and 8,000 square feet of commercial spaces and co-working amenities. The project was complete in September 2025 at a total cost of approximately $10 million, with the city contributing approximately $620,000 in equity. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Simone on this one? None. We have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Robert seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. And Simone, don't tell me you now have a third section.
This is temporary.
But yes, you're on a roll, so continue. And now we have at the direction of projects.
Thank you. At the direction of grants, refer to those commitments listed in the New York State budget that originate from the Governor, the New York State Assembly, or Senate, where ESD is named to administer the funding, but does not select the recipients of funding. For the first item, directors will be asked to authorize a $375,000 local assistance award to New York Medical College Bio Inc., made as a conference-wide New York State Senate directive from fiscal year 2023-24. Bio Inc. has assisted in cultivating the growth, success, and sustainability of biotech startups. Since 2015, these startups have created approximately 100 direct, high-paying jobs in the life science industry, along with 300 indirect jobs. Bio Inc. will use the funds to reimburse general operating expenses through May 2025. For the second item, the directors are requested to approve a $20 million special appropriation grant to Welcome World Foundation, Inc., made at the direction of the Executive Chamber in fiscal year 2025-26. This working capital grant will assist in funding a portion of services and expenses related to hosting the FIFA World Cup 26 at the New York, New Jersey Stadium on Sunday, July 19, 2026. The grant will be used to support Welcome World's host committee as it prepares transportation, marketing, security, viewing parties, and promotion of I Love New York sponsoring to ensure a vigorous New York State presence across the event. Thanks to the tournament, an expected 1.2 million visitors will enjoy all New York City has to offer leading up to and during the game, generating an estimated $1.7 billion in additional spending in the region. Funds will be applied to the event through July 2026. For the third item, directors are being asked to authorize a $48 million of a $116 million special capital appropriation award made available in fiscal year 2025-2026 from the Executive Chamber to the Onondaga County Water Authority. The Water Authority serves a population of over 350,000 people and operates 2,216 miles of water main with 48 pumping facilities. In advance of anticipated demand and the ensuing receipt of revenue that will result from additional water customers, $48 million of the total $116 million appropriation is being requested at this time to complete the Lake Ontario Water Supply Master Plan and the Lake Ontario Water Treatment Plant Finished Water Storage Project. Completion of the project will require updates to existing engineering and planning work to determine the improvements necessary to expand Water Authority's infrastructure capacity. In addition, recommendations will be explored for the appropriate phasing and sequencing of infrastructure expansion to sufficiently meet potable water demands anticipated from regional population growth and expected new development. This appropriation will support potable water demands for both Central New York, regional population growth, and the anticipated Micron facility, and will contribute to Water Authority completing a total of $549 million in capital improvements. The project is expected to be complete in August 2028. Finally, the directors will be asked to approve a fiscal year 2023-24 $2 million grant to the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute, which is being made from the New York State Economic Development Fund at the direction of the Executive Chamber. For nearly 50 years, the Caribbean Cultural Center has served as a hub for artists in its East Harlem community, offering programs and activities relevant to the African diaspora. The organization will construct a new entrepreneurial assistance center for artists of color, a 5,000 square foot space, which will offer fellowships, residencies, educational programs, and public events. This project will be complete in July 2027. And I can take any questions.
Well, thank you, Simone. I'll remind folks this is the item that Benson Martin is recusing himself from. On item 2, I had the privilege of ringing the bell down at Wall Street to kick off the World Cup effort. The governor and Hope couldn't make it, so I got third place. It was fun. I did it with the First Lady of New Jersey.
Nice.
And learned that like 5 times more people will be watching the World Cup than watch the Super Bowl because not every country in the world cares about our NFL league, but everybody in the world follows soccer. And while it's over at the Meadowlands, most of the folks will be staying in New York where all the hotels are. So pretty cool thing for New York. At the same time, the US Open Golf will be on Long Island again at Shinnecock, and so New York is really going to be the epicenter of the world again in the summer.
No government rates that month.
What was that?
No government rates that month.
No, not then. And just one question, Simone, on Onondaga County Water Authority 40, is that related to getting the region ready for Micron?
That's right. That's
got it. Yep, got it. Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Simone? All right, we don't have any comments from the public on these items, so I will move them. Move this. Francine seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. And the recusal from Benson. Thanks, Simone.
Thank you.
So next on to the Life Sciences Initiative Fund. We have 2 items. We have 2 separate votes. And we have Joan Spivak, VP of Life Sciences, here with us or on the line?
On the line.
Okay.
Joan, you there?
Joan, as a reminder to dial *6 to unmute.
Yeah, I know she's there, but I think she may be muted.
Should we come back to Joan? Oh, sorry.
I just have a question. I didn't pay that close attention, I guess, to this. I live in the town of Lewiston. Does that matter? Do I have to recuse myself?
No, if you live there. No.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest
No,
in
I
the
have
entity?
no.
No.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
good. Which one was that for?
The first
The one we just did?
No. This first one, Lewiston, Western New York region.
No,
Okay,
not an
I
issue.
just wanted to make sure.
Are we skipping?
Yeah, we'll skip and come back.
We'll come back to
Oh,
Joan.
all right.
Okay, so let's go to the Office of Strategic Workforce Development. Michelle Clark, our VP and Director of Workforce Development.
Good morning, Chairman, and good morning, Directors. The Directors are being requested to approve the release of funding for the Office of Strategic Workforce Development's Workforce Capital Grant to LaGuardia Community College in the amount of $350,000. This was a 24-month project converting underutilized on-campus labs into new electrical, plumbing, and HVAC labs, which were previously housed in rented space off campus. Moving these lab spaces on campus will increase trainees' access to support services, double training capacity, and allow for more convenient scheduling options. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for this project, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Michelle on this? None. Don't have any comment from the public. So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Is Joan ready yet, or? Yes. No? All right, we'll go back to Joan Spivak, our VP of Life Sciences, for item number 4. Yes? No? Joan? Are you on mute?
I know she's there.
All right, we're having technical difficulties. We'll come back to Joan again. So let's go back to Josh Breitbart, our Senior VP for Connect All, and he has 2 items for us with 2 separate votes. Josh, are you there?
I am. Thank you, Chair. Yes, there are 2, excuse me, 2 items. The first one is to...
Kevin, I'm on the... Hello?
Joan, are you there? Joan? Joan, put your phone on mute. We're now dealing with Josh. I will come back to you for a 3rd and final attempt.
Okay.
After Josh is done. Josh?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Joan. The first item, Connect All requests that the directors authorize 2 grant awards and corresponding general project plans through the Affordable Housing Connectivity Program. As noted in the materials, both awards are to Flume Internet Inc., one for up to $2,966,181, serve over 2,400 affordable housing units in Brooklyn, New York City with internet service, and one is for up to $3,790,692 to serve nearly 3,700 units with internet service in the greater Rochester metro area of Monroe and Ontario counties. The detailed project descriptions are included in the director's materials. As a reminder, the board approved the guidelines for the Affordable Housing Connectivity Program in April 2023. Through this program, Connect All awards grants to internet service providers and others to deploy new or upgraded broadband infrastructure to and within affordable and public housing properties to improve broadband service and affordability. These 2 awards are the first in this program Connect All has brought to the board for consideration. To date, the governor has announced 13 projects through this program, totaling approximately $33 million, to reach more than 31,000 low-income households and expand service options in 20 counties across 8 of the state's metro areas. The other projects are going through the applicable environmental review process and through construction activities, and Connect All will bring them to the board at future meetings. I'm happy to take any questions the board may have.
So Josh, these are existing affordable housing projects that had no access to internet, and so we're providing the monies to get these buildings and these apartments that access. And do we work with the local cable companies or the local cell phone providers to do that?
These properties may have already had some level of internet access, but are identified for the need to upgrade the infrastructure and improve affordability and service options. And in many of these cases with this program, it's a provider that's entering the market for the first time, and then will continue to expand and grow service in that metro area, leading to greater competition, service options, and economic opportunity for the region generally, beginning with these low-income households. And the service options that they're delivering are, in this case, it's broadband service at $10 a month and gigabit service, so the ultra high speed, at $30 a month. So it's extremely affordable by any market standards.
Great. Thank you for that. Any other questions for Josh? We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Josh, continue.
The second item is a request of the directors to authorize a grant award and corresponding general project plan through the Municipal Infrastructure Program. As noted in the materials, the grant is for a total not to exceed amount of $1,363,264 to construct broadband infrastructure to reach over 200 locations in the counties of Tioga, Broome, Steuben, and Schuyler. Including the project before you today, the total grant awards under this program that will have been approved by the board will be approximately $244 million. And the governor has committed federal funding totaling approximately $295 million to this program, and has announced further awards that Connect All will bring to future board meetings for your consideration.
Thank you. Any questions for Josh? No comments from the public. I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Josh. Feel better. Let's go now back to Joan Spivak for 2 items. Joan, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
The problem was I was pushing *6 as instructed, and it muted me. Okay, thank you, and good morning. We're asking the directors to allocate approximately $760,000 in life science funds for 2 awards to academic centers that have been recommended to receive Biodefense Commercialization Fund awards from the 3rd application round. This fund was created to accelerate the development and commercialization of life science innovations that address serious infectious disease threats. One is a 2-year grant of approximately $499,000 to the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai to support the development of antibiotic resistance surveillance tools for urinary tract infection. The second is a 1-year grant of approximately $262,000 to Niagara University to assist in the development of zinc encapsulation technology for antiviral application. Incentive proposals for these 2 awards were executed in the last quarter of 2024. Do you want to take a vote on these, or shall I do the other one as well?
I'm told we need separate votes, so let's pause for a minute. So does anybody have any questions for Joan on this? Sounds very exciting.
Has the work been done already, or is this funding for the project?
Did you hear that question, Joan?
Yeah, the work is being done, and each grantee is getting to the point where they have met the specific milestones that will allow them to obtain some reimbursement for what they're doing. But they're not completed yet.
Thank you.
And this is a grant. As the company develops, could New York Ventures someday invest in them as well? Or if they get a grant from us, we don't invest? Do we ever piggyback a grant with an investment with our programs?
Actually, we do have some Biodefense Fund awardees that have now been invested in by New York Ventures. So absolutely.
Great. Very good.
And I just want to emphasize that they're separate independent review processes with outside experts.
Got it. Got it. Thank you for that, Liz. Okay. Any other questions for Joan? All right. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Robert seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Joan.
Thank you. We're also asking the directors to allocate up to $500,000 for a 5-year grant to the University at Buffalo for an entrepreneur development Stage 2 implementation grant to create and implement a dual-purpose, full-time MBA focus area and advanced graduate certificate in life science entrepreneurship. Buffalo is the 5th school to receive an entrepreneur development grant. This program was designed to address the lack of entrepreneurial talent needed to run life science companies. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for Joan on this one? None? No comment from the public. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? The motion carries. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll move on to New York Ventures. We have 3 items, we have 2 different presenters, and we have 3 separate votes. First up is Jennifer Teagan, our Managing Director of New York Ventures.
Chairman Locke, could I just point out, this is an item that I will need to recuse myself from.
Okay. Let the record reflect Robert Simpson's recusal on this item.
Good morning, directors. This is a request for a second investment from the New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund from its State Small Business Credit Initiative funding to invest in Ithaca-based Ecolectro. Ecolectro is commercializing low-cost, high-performance polymers for green hydrogen production and applications that include mobility, transportation, industrial manufacturing, as well as direct replacements of those aging electrolyzer ecosystems. The company has demonstrated its technology is comparable in performance, durability, and it can produce hydrogen at a much lower cost than existing technology. The company was founded by 2 Cornell-trained PhD chemists coming out of Jeff Coates' lab at Cornell University. Its research and development facility is based in Ithaca, where its team of 25 employees is currently producing the membranes and where they assemble the electrolyzer systems. Staff is requesting an investment of up to $1 million into a $10 million convertible debt financing round, with the proceeds being used to complete development of a commercial scale system and further the pipeline of opportunities that it's working with. We have previously invested $1 million in total across 2 rounds of financing with Ecolectro. As part of our due diligence process, the staff and an external investment advisory committee evaluated the business plan and the terms of the investment, and as a result of that analysis, the staff and the investment committee both agree that the opportunity and potential offered by this New York State company warrant an investment and recommend its approval.
Good.
Take any questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions? None. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. And again, Rob recuses himself. So that is approved. Thank you, Jennifer. We'll move on. Still with New York Ventures, we have Karan Mehta. He's our Senior Director for the Venture Capital Fund, and he has 2 items for us.
Thank you, Chairman. We're seeking board approval for an investment of up to $500,000 in the ReNatural's $4.25 million seed equity round. The ReNatural builds robots that make wigs and sells them directly to consumers online. What once took weeks by hand overseas in Asia now takes under an hour in their Brooklyn studio. The result is a wig that looks more natural, lasts longer, and costs a lot less. Proceeds from this financing round will be used to scale manufacturing, grow the team, and product development. And the evaluation of this investment has followed the same due diligence process explained by my colleague before, and we recommend the approval.
Got it. Sounds very interesting, Karan. Any questions? None. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Benson seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Karan, continue.
Thank you. The second item is we're seeking board approval for an investment of up to $2 million in Crew Carbon's $15 million Series A equity round. Crew helps wastewater treatment plants capture and store carbon while improving efficiency using a hardware and software system that optimizes pH control and boosts capacity by up to 90% without new construction. They're based in Brooklyn. The company works with large utilities and has a major carbon removal offtake agreement with Frontier. Proceeds from this round will fund additional project deployments, product development, and team growth. And the evaluation of this investment has followed the same due diligence process as explained by my colleague before, and we recommend its approval and happy to field any questions.
Karan, did Crew Carbon get any grants from NYSERDA for their efforts?
I don't think so, not yet, but I'm sure they're in touch with them, and it's something that we're probably able to make connections on.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Karan on this? All right, we have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Karan. Next up is the item that Arden highlighted for us before, and this is the Creedmoor mixed-use project. And we have Bob Tuttle, Assistant VP, Real Estate Development and Planning, and Bob is here with us.
Thank you, Chair Law. Good morning, everyone. So I'm returning to the directors regarding the proposed Creedmoor mixed-use project in Eastern Queens. The project came before you for adoption last December, and the project's final environmental impact statement was approved last month. Today, I'll be presenting the modified general project plan and secret finding statement. Your materials contain the full details of the proposed project, and I'll do some highlights today, starting with a brief background. So the general project plan adopted by the ESD directors last December was informed by a Creedmoor community master plan that was published in December of 2023. Modifications to the adopted general project plan are the result of comments that we received during the public comment period for the adopted GPP and the draft environmental impact statement, and conversations with local elected officials. The modified proposed project envisions the comprehensive redevelopment of a 46.5 acre project site located on the 125 acre Creedmoor Psychiatric Center campus. The proposed development would transform this gated and underutilized campus into a mixed-use community with much-needed mixed income housing, public and private open space, community amenities, and neighborhood retail. The project's modified housing program is approximately 2,022 units. Approximately 977 of those units would be affordable rental, with some units providing wraparound services to support the needs of seniors, individuals with mental illness, and our nation's veterans. And approximately 1,045 units would be a mix of affordable and market rate home ownership units. Mixed throughout the site would be community facilities, including older adult centers and early childhood education center. Additionally, the project includes small-scale retail to help meet some of the neighborhood retail needs and provide jobs. A public school is also part of the project, and that would be built as the need for additional school seat capacity and funding as it is identified by the city's Department of Education and School Construction Authority. And the proposed project would also include approximately 2,482 parking spaces and approximately 10.3 acres of open space. 4.4 acres of that would be publicly accessible. As Arden mentioned during today's spotlight presentation, ESD is the master planner for this project, so there is no development partner at this time. The designated developer for each phase of the project would be selected through a competitive RFP process. The first phase RFP is anticipated to be issued later this year, and the final phase being completed in 2040. We'll return to the board for each development phase of the project. To effectuate the modified proposed project, ESD would override zoning to allow for the development of more housing, including affordable housing, than would be permissible under the current zoning, and to implement other project components consistent with the project's goals. ESD has created design guidelines to be applied in lieu of zoning, which would govern site planning, land uses, densities and floor area, building heights and setbacks, parking and loading, open space, and any other features. And we are now asking the directors to accept the secret finding statement, adopt land use improvement and residential project findings, adopt the modified general project plan, and authorize ESD staff to take all of the related actions. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Bob. No, very thorough, just like last month was, and I think we all understand this, the magnitude of this project, the size of it, and all the efforts that your team and your colleagues spent on working with the stakeholders, to get it to this point. We did receive one comment, and it was a comment where somebody had initial questions, but was satisfied with the responses that staff provided to them, and so no longer has any objections. So that's always a nice comment to receive. So does anybody have any comments for Bob?
How much does a person needs to make for the affordable units?
So that will depend on each phase of the RFP. So we'll be working with HCR, as Arden had mentioned earlier. When we're doing affordable housing, we're working with HCR on what those AMIs will be. And so it'll be phase by phase. As I mentioned also, we're going to come back for every development phase. And so when we do come back, we'll be with a designated developer and we'll be able to provide that information to you.
And you'll be able to tell how much the rents will be.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, so I will move it. John seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Bob. And next up is our administrative action items presented in summary format by Doug Janice, our senior counsel for corporate and real estate. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 6 items this time. So the floor is yours, Doug.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, directors. As the Chairman just noted, in order to help streamline our board meetings, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with the administrative action sections of your agenda. So you received a full set of the written descriptive materials for each of these items in your board materials. But rather than having individual presentations on each, I'm going to provide you with a brief summary of all of the items. And at the conclusion, we can entertain any questions or comments you might have. The 6 October administrative actions items are summarized as follows. Item 9A is relative to authorization to make payments pursuant to the Electric Generation Facility Cessation Mitigation Program. The board is being requested to approve 5 statutory payments pursuant to the program. These payments will offset reductions in property tax revenue to 5 local government entities. The first 4 payments are all due to the closure of the Indian Point Nuclear Generating Facility in April of 2021, and they are to the Village of Buchanan in the amount of $465,887, to the Town of Cortland in the amount of $440,350, to the Hendrick Hudson School District in the amount of $10,808,612, and to Westchester County in the amount of $1,772,597. The 5th payment, due to the closure of the Somerset Electric Generating Facility in March of 2020, is to Niagara County in the amount of $500,605. Approval of these payments will bring total disbursements from the fund to approximately $114 million of the $140 million authorized for the program, leaving a program balance of approximately 20% of the authorized funding. Item 9B is relative to authorization to amend a contract for consultant services relating to the Central New York Housing Market Needs Study. The directors are being asked to authorize an amendment to the contract with HR&A Advisors to continue to support ESD in the implementation of a Housing Production Fund initiative for Central New York. The study is based on the results of the Comprehensive Regional Housing Needs Study commissioned under the current scope of ESD's approved contract with HR&A and represents a critical resource to help the region prepare for the coming growth related to the Micron project. The requested amendment is for an additional amount not to exceed $274,000 and will extend the contract term by 9 months. Item 9C is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for Microsoft Enterprise Services. The directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with SHI International Corp. To provide Microsoft Enterprise licenses. These licenses will permit staff to access all services available under Microsoft EA, including Office 365, Azure, Intune, Dynamics CRM, Power Apps Portal, Power BI, and Visual Studio. The contract term is 3 years for an amount not to exceed $6 million, with a contingency amount of $500,000 for an overall contract amount of $6,500,000. Item 9D is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for Palo Alto Networks Prisma Next Gen Security Solution Software Services. Directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Q&A Tech to provide Palo Alto Network Prisma Next Gen Security Solution Software, a unified cloud security and networking platform. The contract term is 3 years for an amount not to exceed $932,486.50, with a contingency amount of $47,513.50 and an overall contract amount of $980,000. Item 9E is relative to authorization to amend contract with Strategic Advantage International for video conferencing services. Directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract amendment with Strategic Advantage International to continue to provide video conferencing services to the corporation. The amendment term is for 3 years and an amount not to exceed $542,279.86, which is inclusive of a contingency amount of $70,732.16. This will bring the total contract amount to an amount not to exceed $742,279.86. And finally, item 9F is relative to authorization to amend a contract with AECOM USA, Inc. for construction, engineering, and infrastructure advisory services for the Highline East Extension Civic Project. Directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract amendment with AECOM USA, Inc. to continue to provide construction management, advisory, and other technical services to the corporation to support the Highline East Extension Civic Project, or what we commonly call the Highline Moynihan Connector. The proposed amendment will extend the contract term through December 31st of 2026 in an amount not to exceed $128,340 for a total contract amount of $712,340. With that, I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any comments or questions you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. We also have item-related staff on the line today as well to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Hey, Doug, on the last item, is ESD the lead on the Highline Moynihan connector? Have we been the lead on the whole Highline project?
Essentially, yes, although there's a lot of moving parts on that, as you know, Chairman, but yes. Between us and some other agencies that we had to work with and authorities that we had to work with, and also with a partnership with someone who does the maintenance. So there's a lot of different moving pieces, but ESD essentially resides at the center of it and has been the one to pull it all together and manage the overall process.
Great, and is that coming, Arden, is that under your shop as well?
It is.
Is it one of the 30 projects that you have going on?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
And it's just the connector piece, not the whole Highline.
Right, got it. And Doug, do me a favor, if I missed it in the materials, I apologize. Can you email me the scope of the HR&A study for the housing study that I'm interested in? I think it might something we might be able to do in other regions as well. I'm just curious as to what the scope of work is.
Absolutely.
The study is currently on our website.
Is it?
The study around Micron, they're doing some support around policy related work.
I'm sorry, what is HR&A doing?
The housing study
Right.
is done. We're extending the contract around assessing some potential policy implications regarding the study.
Uh-huh.
Central area.
Got it.
What they're doing isn't done.
Did they do the study too?
They did the study. Yep.
Got it. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. All right. Thanks. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Doug? All right. There is no comments from the public, so I will move it. Robert Simpson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. That concludes our official business. Do any directors have any other business or items they'd like to raise at this time? All right, hearing none. Our next meeting is going to be Thursday, November 20th here. So that means I could wish you a happy Halloween for all you K-pop demon hunters who are going to be out there trick-or-treating.
How do you know that?
Election day, you might have heard there's a little election going on in New York City. That could impact who our partners are going to be as we go forward. And then for any of you veterans or family members who were veterans who we honor in the middle of November as well. So wish you happy events for all of those days. And I'll move to adjourn. Hilda seconds it. We're all in favor. Thank you, staff, for another well-done meeting. And we'll see you next month. Great.